Hello and welcome. My name is Arthur from Accessibility Services. Congratulations on your purchase of your new autonoMEgo. Today I'm going to be going over unpacking and assembly. The tools you'll need for this assembly are going to be one pair of flush cut pliers, hopefully, and that's just so that you can cut the zip ties flush and that they're not going to be sharp. One 7mm socket wrench, and one 5/32 Allen key. We use these T handles. They're just really nice to use, so you can use whatever you have. So first you're going to want to go over both of your packages. Once you get all the fluff out of the top of them, all the packing material, you can go ahead and start unpacking. We'll start with the base, which is in this square box, the shorter one. There's going to be one piece of the arm in there, so you go ahead and take that out, set it off to the side. And then there's a bag of accessories that go with the arm. Go ahead and set that next to the arm too. There's a smaller rectangular box. This one contains the tablet, eye gaze camera, and other items for the tablet. Go ahead and set that off to the side. Go ahead and remove other packaging material. And remove the base. Now the base is about 30 pounds, so make sure you're following proper lifting techniques when removing it from the box. Go ahead and roll that to the side, and then you can go ahead and get rid of this box. So now that we have the base removed, we'll go ahead and remove the post. This is going to be the part that holds the arm and the tablet to it. Once you unpack that, you're going to find your sip and puff arm that's going to be sitting on top of the post. Go ahead and remove that, set it off to the side. Now removing the post is a two-person job, so go ahead and make sure that you have someone available to help you. All right. Ready? Okay. Screws taken out of it. Go ahead. Obviously, after that, you're going to need to break when I say it's a two-person job. And we'll cut back and we'll be like, this is it unpacked. Go ahead and set this off to the side, making sure that you're not damaging the bottom. And what you're going to do is take your 5/32 Allen and remove the screws at the base. These screws will hold the post to the base. Yeah. Once you've removed your screws, go ahead and just leave them on the base with your tool. You're going to need that handy when you slide the post over the brackets here. So carefully get your post, lift it up, gently slide it over the brackets. Pretty tight fit, so you might have to jiggle it a little bit. While supporting the post with one hand, go ahead and start your screws by hand. Once you've started all your screws by hand, go ahead and get your Allen wrench. Tighten them up. Once you feel the bottom out, just snug them up a bit. No need to over tighten them. Once you're complete with that, go ahead, slide down your O-ring, and that'll form the final seal along the rubber. Now that we've completed that, you can go ahead and set your attention to the tablet. For this, we're going to need your 7mm socket. Go ahead, find a nice flat surface and begin to prep it. Use the bubble wrap from earlier to create a nice smooth surface for the tablet to sit on. Remove the tablet from its box, go ahead and set it to the side. You're going to want to prep your surface pretty close to the edge of the table to give the eye gaze a place to hang off. Don't worry about it falling off. As long as most of the screen is on the surface, you'll be fine. Okay. So notice we have this plate here with 4 nuts. Go ahead, remove these, and we're going to affix the arm to the tablet. Set your nuts off to the side, you're going to need them very soon. And grab the arm that we pulled out of the box earlier. You're going to affix the tablet to the side here. So you leave the plate on the tablet, simply slide this plate over the existing plate there. Go ahead, take your nuts and put them on. Now when you're tightening these up, make sure that you don't tighten them too hard because you will crush the spacers underneath here that are needed for proper spacing. Go ahead and tighten them up with your socket wrench, making sure not to over tighten them. What you're looking for is make sure you pick it up and you can jiggle it and that there's no real play. Now that you have this assembled, go ahead, gently lay it down on its back, and we'll get ready to affix it to the end of the arm. Okay, now that you're ready to affix the tablet to the end of the arm, go ahead and remove this plastic covering. This is here to make sure that none of the grease for this joint here gets on anything else. So just be careful when you're removing this. Go ahead and discard that. Once you remove that, you're ready to place the arm on the end here. And it's simple. Just line up the hole on the arm with the peg. Slide it on. Once the arm is affixed to the end here, go to your bag. Get your bag of accessories. You'll notice that there's a hole cover here with a 5/32 bolt in the bottom. Go ahead and remove that and remove the screw from the bottom piece. This simply covers the hole on the top, and then you're going to take the bolt and line it up from the bottom and go ahead and tighten it. once it bottoms out, you're done. You don't want to over tighten that because you don't want to break the insert and the plastic piece there. Now that you have the tablet affixed to the arm, you're ready to run the cabling. The cabling for the arm is already here. It's simply wrapped up on the back of the unit. Go ahead and unwrap it. Now I find it easiest to work from the tablet back to the base here to ensure that you have the proper amount of slack so that you're not going to strain any of the wires to breaking point. So go ahead and plug your USBs in. Now we're going to go over running the cabling that you have now that you have your tablet mounted to the arm. I find it's easier to work from the tablet back to the post, just so that you can make sure that you have enough slack so that you're not going to mechanically strain any of the cables. Included with the accessories were some zip ties. We gave you more than you would need because you're only going to need 2. So if you mess up, it's alright. So the first thing you're going to want to do is push the tablet as far as it will go right, or clockwise. This is to ensure that you get the cables the maximum amount of distance that they will have to travel at any given point in time. So go ahead, pull your cables so that you got a little bit of slack for each one of them. And then you're going to go ahead and mount your first zip tie here. If you look up underneath this, you'll see an area where you'll be able to get a zip tie in. And then at the second one, you can go ahead and just pull this tight, as there's going to be no real slack that's needed between these 2 points. Once you got those 2 zip ties attached, go ahead and use your flesh cut pliers and just cut them as close to the base of the zip tie as you can, ensuring that there's no sharp pieces left behind. Now we're ready to secure this last piece. There's going to be a plastic piece that's in the accessory kit with the arm. This piece you'll see has 2 tabs, and those are at the front, and then these 2 locking tabs that will slide in go to the back. Ensuring you're not going to hit the screen of the tablet, go ahead and get your arm to the maximum amount of distance that the cable will have to travel. And you can see that there's no real strain here, so that'll be alright. So come in from the bottom, slide this in, pinch your tabs, and make sure that they slide over the 2 posts that are in here. Alright. Now once you got that in place, you can see that you'll have enough slack no matter how you bend the arm, and that none of the wires will be mechanically strained at any given time. And the same goes with the top here. And that's what you're looking for. You want to make sure that you don't get any of these wires broken. Included in the packaging, you're going to have 1 bed controller, 1 1/4-inch cable used for nurse call, 1 phone line that's used to hook your unit into the existing phone line, and 1 sip and puff tube. I will now go over how to connect each individual piece into their proper spot on the unit here. So once you unwrap your power cord, go ahead and you can plug that in to any power outlet. We usually suggest a generator backed outlet just for in case of power failure. You'll notice here a few things. 1/4-inch jack for nurse call, a phone line connector, one 3.5mm stereo port for microphone, and one for sip and puff. These will be clearly labeled on the unit itself. And then one DB25 port. This is for the bed. So, pretty self-explanatory. Using the phone line provided, plug one end into the unit and the other end into existing phone port in the room. For nurse call, using the cable provided, plug one end into the 1/4-inch jack and the other end into your nurse call. If your nurse call is anything other than a 1/4-inch, please contact Accessibility Services for an adapter. The last thing is the bed cable. For the bed cable, you're going to notice that there's two cables coming out of it. One is the DB25 and one is the specific bed connector. One end will go into the bed and one end will go into the DB25 here. You're going to want to plug in the DB25, and when you plug it in, make sure you put your screws in nice and tight. Otherwise, there's a probability that there might not be a proper connection in there. On the dual sip and puff, when you come down to the clamp, you'll notice that you can open it up and there's an insert in here. The insert is in there for flat surfaces similar to a table. You can pull that out so it can clamp to something like a bar or a handrail. In this case, we'll use the piece right here on the side. Go ahead and tighten it up nice and tight. And in order to not lose the insert, I like to just put it into this piece right here. Once you have your dual in place, ready to go ahead and get your two 3.5mm. You're going to notice there's a difference between these two. The one with the red band is your sip and puff switch, and the one with the gold connector is your microphone. So go ahead and plug these each into their respective ports. And the sip and puff is ready to use now. I'll now demonstrate how to install the infection control kits shown earlier. Each kit is self-contained, so when you're setting up a patient, you'll only need one. You're going to notice that there's a straw and filter and one windscreen for the microphone. When setting these up, go ahead and place your windscreen over the microphone. It might be easier to rock it on like so, and then pull towards the bottom to get a good seated connection. And then you'll notice that this has a few tabs on it that will line up with the clear plastic piece at the top of the sip and puff end. Go ahead, put it on, and twist clockwise until you get it nice and snug. Once you feel it go snug, do not go any tighter or you risk damaging the connector here at the top, and that will require replacement. So now that you have both of those on, you're set up and ready to use for a patient.